Today I'm going to tell you the story of one of the founders of the town I'm from. It's a really cool story, and it's kind of unfortunate that I didn't learn it until after I graduated college. That means that there are so many students in high school who hate the town they're from that are missing the story that makes the town considerably more interesting. So I'm going to tell you that historical story today. A lot of it is legend, and all of the emotions that I am putting into the characters are an interpretation. But the legend and the people are real. So, here goes my story on the founding of my town. Mercy Raymond lived on the island of Block Island. Block Island is about 30 miles away from the coast of Connecticut or Rhode Island. It was a really small island. There weren't a lot of people. Mercy was a dutiful wife, and she raised her children. Unfortunately, her husband would leave her for months at a time to go do business on the mainland. This made it a little bit lonely, a little bit boring. There wasn't much adventure in Mercy's life. She knew it was her duty, though, to take care of the children, make sure they were fed, clean the house, and take care of the homestead. But she still dreamed of adventure. So, day after day, she would wait for her husband to return, until one day, she found out that her husband had died. Now, this was unfortunate, but it didn't change the course of Mercy's life too much. She still did the same things, she just didn't have any more hope. She still cleaned the dishes and washed the clothes and made sure the children were getting an education. She thought this was how her life was going to be forever. Until one day, on the cove of her property, a big ship docked itself. Now, Mercy was curious. She didn't know anyone else that would be coming to visit her. Her life was on this island. This was all she had. So she peeked out the window. She watched the man get off the ship. He came up to her house and knocked on the door. At first she was puzzled, but then, as she looked at the man more, she realized who he was. This was William Kidd, or Captain Kidd, and he was an alleged pirate. So now Mercy had a choice. Could she let him in, or should she turn him away without any thought at all? Mercy decided to let him in. Now, Mercy didn't just let Captain Kidd in. She let him stay there. She made him dinner. She made sure that he was taken care of. Of course, this led to gossip among the islanders. It was a really small island with not that many people. So they gossiped and they talked behind Mercy's back, but Mercy didn't care, because at last she had a little bit of adventure in her house. Now, Captain Kidd knew that his time was coming up. He had been running for too long. So, when it was time for him to move on, he turned to Mercy and said, "Mercy, you have been of so much help to me. I want you to put your apron out in front of you." At first, Mercy was a little confused, but she did as she was told and held out her apron. And Captain Kidd dropped in jewel after jewel after jewel until her apron was filled with gold and jewels. She was astonished. She didn't know what to do. So she thanked Captain Kidd, and he rode away. Now Mercy was back to that ordinary life, and she was growing tired of all of the gossip. So she decided island life was not for her anymore. She took a ship, and she went back to the mainland and settled in a place called Northern New London. She used the gold to build a farm. She had acres, and it was all hers. At last, she was completely in control of her life. Today, the homestead still stands in Montville, Connecticut. The road it is on is Raymond Hill Road, and there is a little library called the Raymond Library. And that is the story of how the town I am from was kind of settled on pirate money. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed that little bit of history.